And from the United States to the Middle East, the intensifying conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has fueled fears of a broader regional war. And to de-escalate these brimming tensions, the United States and France have urged Israel and Hezbollah to agree to a 21-day temporary ceasefire. President Joe Biden and French President Emmanuel Macron issued a joint statement after meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly just yesterday. The two leaders called for a settlement to allow displaced civilians to return safely to their homes and warned that the cross-border attacks between the two began on October 7th and could expand into a much broader conflict.
You can see we put out a statement for a 21-day ceasefire along the Israeli-Lebanese border. We were able to generate significant support from Europe as well as the Arab nations. It's important this war not widen. I'll have more to say about it tomorrow.
A diplomatic solution is indeed possible. In recent days, we have worked with our American partners on a temporary ceasefire platform of 21 days to allow for negotiations. This platform will be made public very soon, and we are counting on both parties to accept it without delay in order to protect civilian populations and allow for diplomatic negotiations to begin.
Now, the proposed ceasefire has in fact received broad international backing with support from the United Kingdom, the European Union, and key regional players like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar. Now, it's worth noting that the ceasefire proposal applies only to the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah and not to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. However, Hezbollah has indicated it would only halt its strikes on Israel if a ceasefire in Gaza is also reached.
We also affirm the need to end the Israeli aggression against Gaza immediately. The spillovers of what is happening in Gaza is directly affecting the situation in Lebanon and the region. And what is happening will not stop at borders of the region, but will include the whole of the Middle East if it is not addressed without further delay.
Now, on the other hand, Israel continues to blame Hezbollah for the crisis, pointing to the October 7 attacks as the trigger for the violence. The Israeli army chief has ordered his troops to prepare for a ground incursion into Lebanon against Hezbollah. Speaking in New York, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations added that if diplomacy fails, Israel will use all means in Lebanon.
Designate Hezbollah and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. And finally, stop casting blame on the side defending its citizens. Instead, find the courage to once and for all name and condemn the true aggressor responsible for igniting this cycle of violence. We welcome the initiatives from different negotiators, and I think they know exactly what we expect. And if we can achieve it with diplomacy, it will be much better for Israel, much better for Lebanon. But all of this can stop immediately. Once Hezbollah will stop firing missiles and rockets into our civilian communities, there will be no cycle of violence in the region.
Meanwhile, several embassies, including the United Kingdom, Germany, and India, have urged their citizens to avoid traveling to Lebanon and leave the country as soon as possible. Now, as the situation remains tense, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrives in New York to address the UN Assembly and is expected to clarify Israel's stance on the proposed ceasefire.